AchieveRadio.com, the positive side of broadcasting.
Hello, and welcome to the Magical Mofos.
You are?
I I thought I would let you say it first this time.
No, we're changing it up a bit.
And I'm distracted by the height of my hair on the camera. And I'm Diane Latier of soulrestoration.ca.
And I'm Althea Montgomery from creativeclearings.com.
Yes, and I have a slight delay again tonight, so I'm just...
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. And my mouth is working properly. I had slightly, can you see? There's still a bit of a...
Oh, you're like a little droopy?
Yeah. So I had some dental work done today, and she did 2 shots. She did 2 shots of freezing, and then she started working on my teeth, and I could still feel some sensitivity. So I told her that, and she said, well, I'll give you a third one. And I was like, I left there, and the whole side of my face was like just not functioning. I couldn't. Anyway, I know it's normal, but it's been a long time since I've had like that kind of dental work done, so it's a little bit shocking when it's totally still.
Did you try to drink? I always try to drink something, and I think I can do it, and it just starts dripping down. That was hilarious.
Yeah, a couple of hours ago, it was pretty bad, and I even told you I couldn't even really read to my son, putting him to bed, because it was bothering my mouth to talk too much, but it feels better. It still looks a little weird, but it feels better. Anyway, enough of that.
You sound good. You sound fine. So.
Also, I took some pain medications.
Would you like to do a commercial spot for the pain meds? No, I'm kidding.
No. So, before we start talking about anything, let's invite callers. Please call in. Althea and I talk to each other all the time. We don't need to do it on the air. We can, but we love having callers and helping you clear stuff away, whether it's personal or professional. And the phone number is 602-666-6027. So anybody who's not from the States, because I'm from Canada, you can Skype in with that number, or whatever other way you want to dial in. And then I think for the US as well, on the Achieve Radio page, there's actually a list of phone numbers for different states. So, but the central number is 602-666-6027. And again, Althea and I just clear stuff away. Clear things.
Clear all of the unwanted stuff away, whether seen or unseen. Yeah, but you can call in, chat, get a different point of view or perspective on things, ask us questions about anything, whatever you want to do. All good. If you're not familiar with energy work, we wave our hands around, we laugh, we breathe and shake, and it changes your entire world for the better.
Just wave them like you just don't care.
Yeah, wave them. What's up, man? Somebody getting on your nerves, be like, hold on a minute here. I'm just going to clear you up a little bit. I'm going to need you to stop doing that. I do that.
There was something I had thought about talking about, but then I totally forgot about it. I think it was like Friday.
I do, if you want to hear my idea of what to chat about.
Sure.
I don't even know your perspective on this exactly. We may have chatted about it before, but I find it really interesting that lots of energy healers, spirituality, law of attraction type stuff is always promoting all of this positivity, that it's got to talk positive, got to think positive, got to smile and fake it till you make it type stuff, where it's actually, I've seen it create a fear of anything that's not considered positive or happy or uplifting, to the point that I've noticed that people feel like they have to even deny what they're feeling, which actually locks that into their bodies and whatnot, rather than just allowing themselves to have the emotion or whatever they're going through and letting it just float by. And also to the point of even what we do, people come to us with all sorts of issues going on, and we hold space for them. But it's kind of promoted that you should just be terrified of people when they're in a bad mood. And it's kind of, I saw an article about this a while ago, I don't recall where, but it hit me again over the weekend that if you're so terrified of what someone else is going through and what kind of mood they're in, then what kind of energy space are you in exactly? And why are you so fearful that that person can affect you and like they have some sort of contagious disease that they're going to drop you down? Like, there's a difference between saying, oh, I'm not really interested in this conversation, and maybe walking away. But it's almost like we ostracize people a lot of times if they're not in a perfect good mood, or that's promoted in certain law of attraction or spiritual methods, that it's just always have to be happy and smiling. It's like, well, who's always happy and smiling? Like, stuff happens, and then it's kind of promoted that even when you go through unpleasant things, that you're supposed to deny whatever your true feeling is during that time, just to kind of please people around you too, because they don't want to see you crying and they don't want to see you in a bad mood. And that almost like you have to reach this state of perfection to be around people. But it just started hitting me that if you're terrified of someone that's in a bad mood, or like Diane and I listen to people talk about business problems, relationship problems, health problems, fears, phobias, all kinds of things, and we are thankfully able to hold space for people and be non-judgmental and just do that for them. But that was just something that came up of like, do we really need to be terrified of other people's moods and such? So that's...
Well, I don't know that I've experienced what you're saying, which is like being told that you're not allowed to have certain feelings. I know that I have been accused of saying that, and that's not what I'm saying. So, like, if I, not whenever, because it's not all the time, but there have been times when I will just talk about how, from my point of view, you don't have to hang on to anything negative. I've been saying for a decade, or more than a decade, all of the time that I've been doing EFT, I've understood EFT as, if it isn't love, it can be released. Or if it isn't joy, it can be released. If it's not what is an intrinsic part of your soul, or of your infinite beingness, right? Like your energy, your chi, whatever it is that you call that, what you are at source, outside of the body, to me anyway, that's peace, that's love, that's joy. All of the other stuff that we experience as humans is just stuff that we pick up along the way. And because it's not intrinsic to who you be, it can be released, right? But we make things very meaningful because we don't know any different. So once you are more aware of who you really are and how big you really are, then it's easier to shift those things and to go, wait a minute, it's not even necessarily like, it's real, but it's not real. It doesn't have to be real. I can let this go, like that kind of a thing, right? But some people, when you say, well, you don't have to feel that. So it's not about shutting down feelings. If anything, it's saying, oh, I've got this feeling. Now I'm going to choose beyond it, or I'm just going to let that go. It's different. But all I'm saying is, for me, sometimes what happens when I'm saying that, or I'll say, you don't, because there's a lot of people say, oh, you're going to have grief. This is the big thing for me. The one that annoys me is grief, because there's a lot of messaging around grief that you're going to be stuck with grief for the rest of your life, and you know you're just going to have to manage it, and you're going to have this hole in your heart for the rest of your life and this pain. And it's like, oh my God, it's not true. It doesn't have to be true.
Oh,
and that's not and that's not to make people wrong for having grief. It's just to say, hey, you do have an option, you do have a choice. With the right tools, you can let that go, because it's a human thing, and you're more than human, right? And so anyway, sometimes when I'm saying that, people will tell me or say that I'm saying that they shouldn't have the feelings, or that they're wrong for having it. And that's not true at all. I'm looking off the camera again. That's not true at all. And you know me, so you know that I'm being truthful about that. It's just you're presenting a different option, and you can have all of the feelings you want. That's the whole point, is you have the choice. You can feel them, and you can release them, or you can hang on to them for the rest of your life.
Well, that's different than what I'm to, because that is what you and I do, is we're holding space for people, being non-judgmental and guiding them and helping them to be more aware of, okay, so you come in, maybe you're in some physical pain, and that really draws your attention. When something's hurting and you're having pain, like, good luck trying to ignore that. So rather than us going, oh, you know what, this is really killing my vibe here. You're over there in pain and I'm aware of it. I'm going to need to go because you're really disturbing my situation. For people to stop making it the whole not my problem. There's a lot of this going on of, got to take care of my vibe first. Like, take care of your vibe, but does that mean you have to walk around judging other people? And the funniest one is people that complain about other people complaining. Because I've seen this a lot with certain spirituality and law of attraction of like, oh my God, they're so negative and they're complaining. It's like, who are you talking about? The whole thing about you talk about projection. So it gets a little convoluted there where it's like, hold on a minute. Can we just be nice to each other again too? And be like, wait a minute, there's my fellow man. They're going through some shit. Guaranteed I've gone through some shit sometimes before too. Is there anything that I could help them with right now? Or do I really need to walk away terrified going, oh my God, I'm in a good mood right now, and here's this fucker gonna mess up my...
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. I agree with you. It just, to me, I thought you talked about like two different things. So you talked about the whole being told not to have certain feelings. So that I was talking about that.
I was easing into it because, not everyone has listened to law of attraction stuff. Not everyone is involved in spirituality. So at the base level, it's like, okay, here's a little bit of what that is. But no, it all is involved, and it's all connected, that we do often do that. And I've had people do that to me. I'm sure I've done that to people. But it's like really this big movement of, oh, not my problem, where at the same time we're all connected. And it's like, okay, I get it. And I'll be the first one to tell you, if you get the awareness that someone's not going to listen to you and they're just going to dump, that's completely different than someone going through something, as we all do at some point in our life, that you may be able to help them. You may be able to help expand consciousness, bring some light into the world, change their whole damn life. And if you're scared that they're in a little bit of a funky mood, or maybe they've had a lot of considered bad things happen to them suddenly, that you want to run away because you think it's like they're contagious or something. I've seen that a lot. It's like, can we just stop looking at it that everybody has to be in a good, happy, upbeat mood, or plaster this face on? Because a lot of people do that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're talking about too is if you're running away from somebody's mood, and there are many different reasons why people do that, right? It can be just the fear of contagion. It can also be that people get triggered and are afraid of, because of whatever is in their past, they're afraid of confrontation, or they're afraid of somebody's bad mood, because it's, for a lot of people, when somebody's in a bad mood, they're unpredictable, and that doesn't feel safe to people, right? But I get what you're saying, that in some cases it's really about like, I don't want this person's vibe to, mess with mine. But the thing is that if you're doing that, then you're playing victim, you're not being in your power, and then you're not in your awareness. And that's the opposite of being in your awareness. And if you're in your awareness, then you can be aware of whether somebody requires help that you can help with, that whether you can be, assisting somebody that they need. You're not in your awareness if you're running from anything, from a fear place.
That's why I'm bringing it up, so that people have awareness, because often they don't even know doing that, because it's so pushed upon people that it almost gets to a spiritual arrogance that, oh, I'm better than you. I'm working on my vibe over here. Oh, you just had some bad things happen in your life. Ooh, you must not be thinking right. You must be in a bad vibration. And it just really does become the spiritual snobbery that I don't even think that people are aware they're doing. And I have to admit that I did it a few years ago. And I have to catch myself sometimes going, whoop, there's a guy in the Togos. Whoop, he's got some weird energy. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? It's all right, Althea. It's cool.
A guy in what?
Going on? It was a sandwich shop. I'm not promoting the sandwich shop, but anyway.
I was like, is he wearing a toga? What? Somebody's wearing a toga?
No, but I just wanted to bring it up because it really came across back in the day that I was doing the right thing, taking the high road, that I, stay in a good mood, take care of yourself, and if someone's complaining or life seems to be getting them down, you just run away from them as fast as possible. And also it's just that funny thing of like projecting it on other people, and then we come across like everyone has to be perfect, fluffy, and light 24/7 a day, 24/7, or they're unacceptable. Like you can't be around them. But sometimes I just brought this up as an awareness of maybe people that are doing that, or they feel that they've been in a situation like that, because I really find it funny that so many people are working on their vibration and, I'm working hard and I'm clearing up these beliefs, and then you're complaining about other people complaining, and then you're judging them because they're not at a high enough vibration. I've even talked to people who would stand there and muscle test. Okay, Althea, you're at this vibration from this particular book, and I'm at this vibration, and this person's this many notches ahead of you. And I'm like, are you joking? Wow, is this what this is about? This whole spirituality uplifting thing? And I'm not talking about all spirituality because that's a very broad area. But yeah, I've had people, you're at this, I'm at this. I'm like, oh, that felt really good. I think I'll go over here and cry now. You're so much better than me. I suck. So I don't know if you've had situations like that, but it was really coming up.
No, not really. I mean, I agree with you, I think, but just that's why I was agreeing with you about the whole, like, if you're in fear that somebody's vibe is going to mess your vibe, then you're not in your power. Because if you're in your power, you know that you're greater than that, and that you can sit in that person's energy and be bigger than it, or you can be in the awareness that I should not be sitting in that person's energy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you require to sit in somebody's yucky energy in order to help them, if that's your choice to help them.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you don't, without taking it on, of course. You don't have to do that.
Well, that's the thing. That's sort of the fear that, I'm going to take on their energy. There's kind of that automatic thing that, give me the heebie-jeebies. I can't be around this person, So yeah, it's just an interesting thing that I noticed, because I did read an article about it a few months ago, and it made me laugh, because I was like, oh yeah, be scared of people that aren't in this level of mood. Like, you have to have this certain level of positivity that you've reached, or you're creepy and stay away. However, as I've said before, some of what we would consider maybe the most not nice people that I've ever met in my life were the ones that were smiling big and talking about love. So everything's not always as it appears to be. So,
Yeah, and having said that, you don't have to be happy all the time, but There's a difference between making, and by the way, I just want to interrupt myself to say, just in case anybody's listening in, Alfie and I are chit-chatting because we don't have any callers, so please do call in if you'd like us to do any clearings with you, if you'd like any insight, and would you like some sin? We're selling sin tonight. Would you like some insights?
I don't know what she's selling. I have no idea what Diane's selling tonight.
My friend Tristan and I, my friend Tristan owns a store where I do my group sessions, and we laugh all the time that he has, what was it that we were talking that he had? Oh, because you know how we always talk about, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm particularly tired this evening with that dental work today. You know, we talk about buying and selling lies, so there's a closet in the back of the store, so we're always like, selling some lies back there. Got some in the closet. Lies. Like some lies. But anyway, sorry. If you'd like insights, guidance, clearings, Alfie and I are here, and otherwise we'll just keep chatting. But sorry, I just meant to say, this is where we I think people get messages and they go, well, it's this or that, or if it's that, it can't be the other one. And of course and I guess it all comes down to not judging and not making anything right or wrong. And so for me, I did a post a while back about, and I didn't even want to say negative emotions because I didn't want to make it like positive or negative. So I think I said something like unwanted emotions. So it's really about, if you want to be angry all the time, if that feels good to you, then go for it, right? But I think most people consciously don't enjoy the yuckiness, the sadness, the fear, the anxieties. People don't enjoy it. And I was talking about that, like in terms of unwanted emotions. And again, for me, it's always about, I just want people to know that they have choice. I just want people to know that they're not stuck with these things, that they can shift out of them, that they can choose something different. That's really my thing. And then you have the choice, and you can choose not to, or you can choose to, and whatever. But so no, you don't have to be happy all the time, and unpleasant things do happen. But for me, I often say, my baseline is joy now, and it doesn't mean that I'm always joyful. It doesn't mean that crappy things don't happen. But if I can't shift something by myself after a couple of hours, then I'm going to call you, or I'm going to call somebody else, and I'm going to be like, can you help me shift out of this? Because I know that that's not normal. It's normal, but it's not my norm anymore. Yeah. So it's normal, but it's not, I don't want to choose it any longer than I have to, because it doesn't feel good. And I'd rather move on with like pleasant things than stay stuck with unpleasant things. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Which is exactly why we're doing this show, to really give people the opportunity to come on here and get help with things that they feel stuck in. And just really
they have to choose it, right? They have to call.
Yeah, they have to choose it. You have to call. And when you do call, you're helping so many people. You really are. I've called into many shows back in the day, and I'm happy that I did, because I want people to feel really comfortable asking for help. No one should feel ashamed asking for help. I think that's total bullshit. If someone's asking for help, why not help them? They're asking for it. They're choosing. So they're ready and willing to receive. It's different if they're not asking and they're not ready to receive. And that will feel yucky. You'll feel a little
Okay, but
off.
how do you feel when people ask for help, but they don't? We've talked about this before. Sometimes people ask for help, but they don't really want it. Because they might might ask for it and be like, I want help, but I want you to do it for me. And it's like, you got to be a part of that. People used to tell me back in the old days when really mostly what I did was angel readings, and people would say, can you tell my angels that that I need this, or can you get my angels to do this? And I'd be like, no, you talk to your own angels. You do it.
And what exactly are you going to be doing while I'm doing all of this? What's your part in this? It's your life you're creating, right? So.
Yeah, and then I'm more than happy to tell them how to do that, but then that's where they kind of go, no, I just want somebody else to do it for me. And
well,
there's
then
got to be some in there.
If we do try to do it for them, then we get a backlash. There's a resentment that comes up at some point in time. Then you get blamed for it because
I just said no.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what happens if you're not really sure that the person wants your help. Because I've had people before verbally tell me, please help, like beg me for help, and I forgot to check in energetically, and they didn't want my help, and then that explained in the end. I'm like, oh, you were just saying you wanted my help, but that was just a load of shit. So yeah, so just be aware, and if it feels like you're getting some sort of awareness and sensation that someone doesn't want your help, that's completely different. Get out of there as fast as possible. But otherwise, it's a really nice experience to be able to help people, to empower them and see the change. Like, you can literally see the change in people's faces a lot of times when you're doing a clearing on them afterwards. It's all bright and sparkly.
Sometimes people think that they want help, but they're just not willing to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, the people that they want to get cleared, and then they want some way to be able to go back and do the exact same things that they were doing before, but get a different result. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Because if it did, I would have told you a long time ago. You have to change something. Choose something different.
Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we've still got time to...
We have time if you guys want to call in, get something cleared. If not, we're going to keep talking.
We're just going to talk. Maybe we'll sing.
We have to sing like an original song. I don't think we're
You'll
allowed.
have to do, I know. Also, I should not be singing. So I should probably just leave that to you. Singer. Oh, let's talk about what you do, because you did a live feed on Facebook.
Did I?
I'm so sorry. I don't usually yawn. It's 10:30 my time, and yeah, the dental work just did me in today. So I apologize. So you did a live feed. Was it earlier this week that you did it?
Did I do a feed?
About the soups with the nutritionist.
Oh, on Friday. Yeah. Last Friday, I did I did.
Was it last Friday? Okay, and then last week we didn't talk about it because we had callers. But let's talk about that, because I think that's such a super cool offering that you have. Service that you offer. So talk about it, what you do and what you can do for people in your practice.
Things for people. Yeah. Well, I said I can do lots of things for people.
Yes, you can.
Lots of things. Well, yeah, I did an interview with Alyssa Goodman. She's a fantastic nutritionist, and she has her show, Alyssa Goodman. I think it's the Alyssa Goodman Show. So she interviewed me about, my energy healing business, and that I've been clearing and infusing her soup since the beginning of the year, and it's been really fantastic. She's had great success since I've been doing it, and it's just been really fun for me. So I do work with different people infusing their products, and it's...
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Watch the video. It's on my page. Infusing... Let me read whoever's watching and see what they can handle here. Basically, just for this soup in particular, I'm infusing it with different sorts of energies and vitamins and minerals and nutrients.
But it doesn't have to be the soup. It's just like product. Oh my God, my face is distorted. Wow.
Take a moment to look at Diane's face. Frozen.
Can you fix my face?
It's her face.
Fix my face.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I clear.
It's not just soup. I mean, you happen to have a client who does like these soup cleanses, but you can. It can be any kind of product really that people can hire you to clean the energy around the product, infuse it with whatever's required, and you connect to the clients of the product, the people who are buying the product, so that the product, gives. So I'm sure that whatever the product would be
whatever's required. Whatever's required. If it's an actual food product, that's a little different. It just depends on the product, the person that I'm doing the clearings for. Whatever's required, I just go with the flow. Like for instance, with the soup cleanse, I do individually have the energy tap into whoever is going to be eating the soup at that time. So it just would depend. Like if I'm doing clothing or something like that, well, the shelf life is different than food products. So you could have a piece of clothing, you infuse it, and it's depending on what the client is asking me to do as well. But it's all good, clean, fun. It's all high vibe stuff. That's what I'm all about. So generally it's like, what do you want your clients to feel when they're wearing your clothes and they're thinking, and just the association with your business in general. So it's a very, very broad subject. So
cool.
Talk about
That's a super cool thing.
Yeah.
So we have a caller.
We do. Fantastic. Who it be?
So we have Sarah from California.
All right. Sarah from California. I'm going to get some water real quick.
Hello. Hello,
are you there?
Sarah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear someone
you now, yeah.
faintly.
My name came out as Sarah. It was Karen, but okay.
Karen!
Oh, Karen. That's okay.
Yes.
Hi, Karen.
I've been trying for so long to get on, and I've been messing up. Man, I had to go look at another phone. You can't use the phone that you're listening to you on. Anyway, yeah. Boy, I need you guys.
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay, I went to a seminar over the weekend. It was fantastic. It was a great seminar, but it was about, some of it was letting your boundaries down so you could take the stuff in and just let it go by you, you know what I mean, to pull people in and stuff, or push whatever. And this morning I got up feeling like I was huge. I mean, like spread out way over, and I went into the house, and I let my boundaries, I realized I was sitting there eating my cereal with my boundaries just really up, all around me, but they were way out, but they were around me. And I let them down, and oh my God, I got bombarded with so much negativity and awful stuff that it felt like a cloud came in from, rolled in, and I went, what the hell? Pardon me, I said, what the hell? And I felt myself just pull it right back up, And then all I wanted to do all day was just eat, because I think that's how I take care of it when it gets too much for me, Anyway, that's my problem. It's been all day. I've been like, I don't want to put my boundaries down. I don't want to feel that much awareness. If that's what you guys feel, I don't know if I want to do it.
Karen, Althea and I just had a conversation about this before the show, like an hour, like 2 hours ago.
Oh, really?
So, Althea.
Yes, about the boundaries and yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Althea.
Okay. So there's a lot going on. So is it okay if we just go ahead and ground you out? You're really floating around. You're scattered. Bring back all of your soul fragments now. Releasing hooks and cords. Let's go ahead and completely disentangle you from the class, anyone in the class, anything in the class, the whole construct of the class, oath, vows, commitments, contracts, known or unknown.
Oh.
There we go. Anywhere you gave your power away to anyone or anything in the class, knowingly or unknowingly, claim it back now. Releasing anywhere you're judging yourself for doing that. Breathe it in. And just allow yourself to realize you're in your body. Take up the entire space of your body and releasing any energies that don't belong to you out of your body and your energy bodies. Got a little something else. You feeling a little better? Whew.
Yeah, I am actually feeling a little better.
Of course you are.
As you're clearing, Althea, did you want to ask her something else? Because I wanted to just talk about the whole lowering barriers and lowering, like we were talking about earlier. Can we have that conversation, or do you want to just keep clearing for a bit?
You go ahead and talk to her, because there's some other stuff there that's kind of hiding. But go ahead. I want to get her in her body a little grounded more. Go ahead and talk.
Take it out. I give permission.
Yeah, Diane, go ahead and...
Okay, so here's the thing, Karen, is that, so Althea and I were talking about this, and it's how we understand, I think, the idea of letting your barriers down, right? And my understanding of it is to be more in your awareness, but it doesn't mean that you have to be at other people's effect or just be like everybody's bitch, right? Or like have all of these like energies coming at you and just take it because you have no barriers. Like that's not really, I mean, I don't know what was being taught, but in my understanding of it, that's not, lowering your barriers or your boundaries or whatever. What was, I don't even know what was the word that you said, but I think we're talking about like lowering barriers. When you're lowering your barriers, it's really to just allow you to be even more in your awareness, right? And so if you become aware, and this is just, maybe Althea has a different way of saying this, but or getting this, but for me, if I'm in my awareness and I'm aware of negative stuff, which is kind of what Althea was saying before, of like not running away from it either, you can choose in that moment to say, you know what, I don't really feel like feeling this right now, but it does not out of fear, but just a choice, right? Or you can just be like, oh, interesting, people have negative energy. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't have to take that on.
I forgot.
Oh, I
went right.
I can make. Sorry.
I went right into judgment with it when it came at me. Seriously, when it came at me like this, and I saw the world and these people, how they thought, I thought, oh God, let's go ahead and destroy it and start over again. I've never thought that way. I always wanted to save everybody, and all of a sudden it was like, no, maybe it's time to get rid of everybody. That's terrible.
Well, was that yours?
I don't think so. I think it was part of the energy probably that was coming in and the awareness.
Exactly.
Of that stuff.
And you know what's interesting, Karen, is you're probably here to be part of that change, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but does that mean I have to be aware of all that stuff?
No, but you don't also have to have your head in the sand. But if you're enjoying your nice breakfast but this is the thing for me is, I think this is kind of where it meets what Althea was talking about, where, okay, so you're enjoying your breakfast and you don't want to be aware of the crap in the world. Fair enough. You don't have to be aware of the crap in the world 24/7. Because that's where we start taking other people's stuff on and processing them and doing things to help the planet when we're not being asked to and when it's not really our place, or, we can just have our breakfast. I think the problem becomes, not the problem, it doesn't have to be a problem, but the concern I guess I would have is if you always keep your barriers up because you don't want to see it at all, or you don't want to be aware of it at all. I mean, and that's a choice too. But then you're like hiding, instead of just being your power.
I'm being an invisible person. And I learned that during this weekend. So that's why I wanted to have more awareness. But when I felt that much awareness come in, I'll be frank, it scared me. You know, I felt like I wanted to go lock myself in my bedroom and crawl under the covers.
Okay, so let's let go of anywhere that you have been at the effect of all of that in any lifetime, space, or dimension. So anything that's creating that fear within you, that you're not big enough to handle all of it, that you're not greater than it.
There it is. Oh.
And anyone or anything that you've hired to keep you believing that, would you let all of that go now?
Yes. Trying it.
Althea, do you have anything else?
So, Karen, let's go ahead and breathe, and let's deactivate and remove any implants that you received over the weekend. There's just a few more left.
Oh.
Yeah. They're big mofos, but there's just a few left. Woo!
So, Karen, you don't have to pick up, you don't have to carry those. It's almost like I can see layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of you picking up other people's energies and the way they function and just their mechanisms and their problems and their fears. And you just walk around with all these people's like stuff. And and you can just not, so can you just release anywhere that you've made that decision that that's what you're supposed to be doing, that that's what your contribution on the planet is? Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah. That felt good. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. I think. Yeah. That felt good.
And can we release anywhere that you're afraid of your awarenesses, so you shut it down, and any implants you have in your brain for that, and anywhere that you feel like awareness has to be hard, and just breathe in. We're going to activate that you actually remember that awareness is your natural state, that you know everything. You're an infinite being. Breathing that in. Anywhere you're judging awareness, anywhere it's hard, and awareness is for other people, not you. You can't do it. Just releasing anywhere you took on that belief from someone else that awareness is hard. It's not always pleasant, but to walk around with that energy of awareness is hard. I don't want to be aware. That's a big, big way of giving away your power. So just activating that your true state is pure awareness. Breathe it in. Now it's going to take a little moment for you to acclimate. That's a whole new world for you, Karen. Because I find the more awareness I have, the happier and better everything is in my life. Yeah. That not always pleasant, but all in all, my life is a bazillion times better. The more awareness, because when I was judging it before, that's what it was. My judgment of the awareness was what made it hard. Because otherwise, looking at it is just information. So anywhere you have judgments, anywhere you're still locking judgments in, and anywhere you got something around judgments, let's just clear that out. Whatever it is, just think about judgments, and anywhere you're holding on to them with a death grip, you do not want to let go of judgments. Judgments somehow keep you safe. And any lifetimes as the judge, and whatever that person is that chops people's heads off. Let's let go of all those oath vows, agreements, contracts, and all those lifetimes. Whew. Yeah, get some of that perfectionism out. Woo.
And anywhere that you're not allowed to be more aware than other people and do it with more power and more ability than anybody else, and you stay small in your fear of awareness because that's what other people do, let's let all of that go. Biggest, baddest mofo on the planet with your magic and your awareness, just strutting your stuff. Eat your breakfast.
Yes.
You got it, girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
There's a little something anywhere you're afraid you're going to go crazy. If you stand in full awareness.
I'm going to be a nutcase.
Yeah. There we go. Let's release. And all the lifetimes you were a nutcase. And any lifetimes, between lifetimes, dimensions, planets, parallel universes, because you had a lot of them. That was fun, huh? Just breathe.
Yeah.
You were a total nutcase. Anywhere you lock that shock and trauma in your energy field and your physical body and cells. Whew.
And anywhere you locked up the nutcases.
Mm-hmm. Either side of the coin.
Same coin.
I just had a vision of the nurse in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
The nurse?
What's her name?
I never saw one.
No.
I never saw it.
Often a thing that will keep people out of their awareness and out of their intuitive abilities and powers is that fear of going insane, that they're going to be perceived as insane, but also like really being insane because we're able to see multidimensionally. And there were lifetimes where we actually saw things in front of us that right now most people are like, oh, you can only see that in a movie, or you're considered insane.
I've
if
seen
you
that
see that stuff.
close to my life. I've seen those kind of things and thought maybe I was kind of close to a nutcase anyway.
Mm-hmm. So let's just release any bits around being a nutcase.
We're nutcases.
To some people.
And you know what happens when we go to classes? Classes can be great, but part of the awareness is knowing which class is going to be contributing to you or not, right? And I have been aware of when I made myself smaller or didn't allow myself to just shift out of something because there's a class coming up, or because there's a class I should be taking, or I'm in a program and therefore I can't just outgrow it or not need it. It's like we have to need a class, and therefore we keep ourselves in these situations, and then, well, you can't have more awareness than the teacher. You can't be like more, I don't know, you can't outdo them, because then why are you in the class in the first place? So we just play all of these mind tricks on each other, right?
Right.
On ourselves, I mean.
We don't have to.
Good, and then it brought it out.
Say that again?
This class was good for me because it brought it out, made me look at it.
So it was a very good class, I'm sure. But the thing to keep in mind about classes and just life in general is, like, if you're in the class, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that the teacher's saying. And you also have to keep in mind, you're picking up and very aware of the other people in class. And just because someone's teaching a class and just because someone's attending a class does not mean that there's some highly evolved individual, that they're somehow better than you. There's a lot of competition energy. People get triggered. So you want to just stay in your awareness the entire time of the class and not to give your power away. Ask, hey, what can I get from the class? What can I get from everyone here that really works for me? And let the rest of it go. Let the rest of it totally go, because people get super triggered in classes. I used to be in some back in the day. Not too fond of them, to be quite honest. Took me a while to ever go back to one. But I was like, hey, you know what? I don't want to let one or two not pleasant experiences keep me from going to classes that I actually resonate with. So, but yeah, go if it feels good. But as Diane said too, you can totally have more awareness than the teacher, and you can have more awareness than the teacher and the other people in the class at any given moment. And not to hold on to things just so you can go to a class and be like, oh, I need this teacher. I need to remove this belief in the class setting. So that's for somebody else out there listening. In case you were going to go to a class, we'll check.
Right, check.
Karen, can you just bring up the energy of all the people that you're not willing to do better than? Whew. Or be better than? Or greater than? Just bring up the energy. Just like,
wow.
Can you perceive how many people you're not willing to do more than?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you be willing now to just let that go?
I was doing that. Whoa.
Yeah. However you feel the need to do that, whether you want to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to do my thing, or sorry, I'm not doing this anymore. However you need to do it, to just like, boom,
I've got
done.
to get over the judge that it makes them less. No, it doesn't make them less or anything. It just makes me what I'm going to be. Period.
Exactly. Awesome. Wonderful.
How are you feeling?
Much better. I think I'll be able to sleep tonight. I slept last night, but it was weird.
Well, I bet we had all that going on.
Yeah.
Anything else coming up, or anything else you'd like to ask or clear up?
Like, how does it feel when you think about, dropping those barriers again and being awareness?
It's kind of exciting now, because I'm thinking maybe I can feel it and just not judge it, so it'll just go off of me. You know what I mean? I think when you judge it, you kind of hold on to it.
Absolutely. And I wonder what would be possible for you now. Like if you are in your complete awareness, then what would actually be possible for you in your life that you've never, you know what I mean? Like stuff that maybe you've thought about doing that you thought you couldn't, or maybe it pops up again, or things that you never even imagined all of a sudden become part of life. There's something that keeps coming up. I don't know if this is true or not, but there's not true, but I don't know if this resonates with you, but there's something that keeps popping up around, like, do you think that you're too old, like too old to learn new tricks, like that whole thing, or that do you have any of that?
I feel like I'm almost using that as it's now time to do it, because my time is limited, and why are you fooling around anymore? So it does have to do sort of with yes.
So there's an aspect of that, because you also shouldn't necessarily be doing something out of guilt that, well, now I have to because of the time. Like that's not better, right? That's not a better place to be from. You want to be doing.
Hey, I'm a mom. I can take guilt, man. I play it out.
I know, right? You get like this guilt chip implanted in you when you give birth.
Implanted in my kids and everything. Oh God.
Yeah. So. Yes. So.
I think you're right.
Anywhere that you're using time as an excuse or a reason to do or not do anything, can we just let all of that go now? Whew.
Yes.
Because I wonder if part of the fear of the awareness is the fear of being aware that there are things that you should be doing that you don't feel like doing. You just want to chill, right?
You want to know the truth? I'm afraid of seeing things again.
There you go.
Having visitors in my room. Seeing them, there's...
Right, but what if you can just dial that down. You don't have to see them, and you can also, it's all about just being in your power and like.
Right, I get excited to see them too. So what I have to do is learn to not take that fear and it's excitement.
And how about not making it meaningful?
No, it's
right.
I think anything be able to do it.
Well, you can also turn the hose up and down. So if you have a fire hose of like how much awareness you're having, or like you're seeing multidimensionally, you have control over that to say, hey, I need to turn down that flow of information a bit.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't think I have control.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be able to do what I do if I didn't turn it down. Otherwise, it would just be nonstop bombardment with other people's thoughts, because I actually hear full-blown conversations in people's voices before they text me. I see things, I feel things. I'm sitting in my house, and during sessions, I'll have like 5 people coming at me, but I'm the one that says, slow on down there, sucker. We got to turn this down, because I got to work here. And so I used to see things as a kid too, and it scared the crap out of me, and I turned it all the way off. And now I'm like, oh, I get to control how much I see and don't see. So you can do that too, Karen. Play with that. You're powerful.
Okay, I will play with that.
We have about a minute left. I just want to jump in really quickly again and say, so anywhere that you think that you wasted time, or that you don't have time to be what you're supposed to be, quote unquote, or whatever comes through that is your gift, that you won't have time to do it, and so you'd rather not be aware of it, anything like that, or you'll become aware of something you should have done and you didn't, and you wasted. All of that time stuff and the shoulds and all, it's a lot of messed up, it's like all like tangled up in there. So let's just clear all of that, release all of that, let all of that go. Just allow yourself to be you and do what you do and what you want to do from a day-to-day basis, from one meal to the next, from a moment to the moment. Just enjoy your life. Whew.
I like that.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, big.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
It was a good,
that was awesome.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'll have to tell you next week how.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, I'm Desi Arnaz Jr. Welcome to Letting Go with Guy Finley. Guy is the best-selling author of Let Go and Live in the Now, and is the founding director of nonprofit Life of Learning Foundation. And now, here's Guy Finley.
So here's a man, and he's driving down the freeway. And all of a sudden he looks up, and what do you think he sees in his rearview mirror?